look at the second ODI before we close the show off. It's the Black ODI. What are the areas of concern for each of these sides, you think, Claire?
Look, I think it's going to be interesting because I think they're going to be a bit scared because of the pitch that they faced in the first ODI. And it's always difficult. You can't choose a team based on pitch conditions. I mean, you can have an inkling and it can sort of sway you in certain directions, but I don't think you can either drop a player or have a player because of those conditions. The South African side, I think, other than addressing quite a few sort of, around their score, the placements of the fields from Sine List, I think that needs a little bit of work. And I think they're going to need to take that into some serious consideration. You talk about the dot balls, but I also think at critical times it also caused us to leak a couple of runs. So they're definitely going to have to sort of work with Sine around that. And I think just plans for bowlers, even, we discussed Marizan Cup not looking 100% comfortable. It could be, just a little bit of rustiness, and hopefully that's all it is. But at times she was bowling to a 6-3 field, and I think she's going to struggle with that at the best of times. So, you've got a lot of pressure for you to put her on outside the off stump and force the batters to play on the offside. So I think, I hope that we see sort of a more confident South African side come out for the second ODI. I don't expect too many changes within the team, to be very honest. I wouldn't think it's too fair. I think Mlaba did brilliantly in her debut game. I would love to see her get another run. Sekhukhune did well as well. She might be harsh on herself and say she was a little bit expensive at times, but I was very, very impressed with her. So I really would like to see those two players, get another run and sort of see how they go. So that's kind of my summation from a South African perspective. The Pakistanis, I think they maybe they need to look at sort of just their batting depth and maybe just strengthening up from a batting perspective. At times, I think they're looking a little bit frail from that side. But I think their bowling unit, I was very, very impressed with their bowling unit. I think their spinners did really well. Sana, for me, is a fantastic bowler. I mean, she's only 19. She's only going to get better. And, I mean, Diana Baig, we've already chatted about her throughout the entire day. And I mean, her performance today speaks for itself.
Mark, put your coaching hat on. What are the things that you'd like to work with on both sides when you return to the drawing board?
Well, I think firstly the Pakistan side, the batting order for me is a little bit fragile, and I think we saw that the top four didn't really perform. It just worries me that there's a little bit of and I'm not sure whether you bring an extra batter in or Kainat Imtiaz comes in. I don't know how to solve that because Aisha Zafar might come in, but that's a worry for me. I think that's very fragile at the moment. We just need to find some runs. And against the new ball, they are going to come up against some tough times, considering that we think that Cap had an off day. She still bowled okay, but she had one of her off days. So she's only going to get better, which is a concern. Look, I think in terms of South Africa, it's about getting your skipper a little bit more confident in her own ability to make decisions. And I'm sure they will. They get around her. And I'm just not sure whether she's a bit timid with Cap and Ishmael being there, and whether she wants to sort of send them down to fine leg. What happens if she does do that? But I just think it's getting that belief in her to say, hey, you've got to take a risk here within her own performance. Bowl another over. As Claire said, if she goes for 8, well, that's okay. You're a leg spinner. You are going to bowl some bad balls. I didn't think it was the worst over in the world. It might not have been the best, but give yourself a chance and really express yourself, And I think what I would be saying to her is you have a look at Brendan McCullum and guys like that. They take a risk, they take a chance, but they're confident. And I would have thought that they'd get around her because she's a key to it. She is a key to it in terms of the batting and the bowling. So getting my skipper more confident in their own ability is something that I would have thought Hilton and the support staff will be working really hard in the next couple of days to get right.
Right. Those are some of the working areas, as Claire and Mark mentioned. Second ODI on Saturday, 23rd of Jan. It's a black ODI, of course. They'll don the new black jersey.